Starting off with a wonderful Asian salad side dish today. Called it an Asian slaw. I have a baby Napa cabbage from the Asian market. You will finally shred whatever cabbage you choose. Shred it small enough so it's easy to eat. Pick out any of the hard pieces. My family's kind of picky. They don't like to eat the hard pieces. So I tend to go through the slaw a few times. Continue to shred and pick out those pieces we don't like. I wash the slaw after it's shredded. And keep picking. Dry the cabbage thoroughly. It tends to hold on to the dressing a little better when it's dry. And I'm still picking here. Wipe off my beautiful new cutting board. Take your broccoli and pull those funky little leaves off. They're going to come off anyway, but for some reason I always pull them off. Cut off the dry stem. Cut the florets from the stem and set them aside. We'll deal with them in a minute. This recipe actually uses the stem of the broccoli. We call them broccoli butts. It's a good way to use the ends of the broccoli, get more veggies, and not waste. You get to use all of the broccoli that you paid for. Get rid of the dry end. I'll use these florets in another recipe. Now to deal with that tough outer skin, using a small knife, grab the edge and pull down. That hard part comes off really easily. That's going to go in the trash. Then you're left with the tender inside of the broccoli stem, or the broccoli butt. It's easier to eat, easier to cut, and easier to digest. Tastes better too. Some broccoli stems are very, very tough. These are not so bad. You're going to want to finely chop these into long slivers or long pieces. If the broccoli is very, very firm, you can shred it. I just chop mine very, very small. As uniformly as possible. Put the broccoli stems and the cabbage into your container. It's already full of veggies. The broccoli florets are now chopped small also. We like to keep them small. It helps them to hold on to the dressing. Makes them easier to eat. And it keeps the coleslaw nice and uniform. This is a good way to get kids to eat broccoli too. Kind of tuck it into something that they're familiar with and they might enjoy it. Not a problem at my house, but some munchkins aren't real fond of the green stuff. For a little bit of crunch, color, and flavor, we love baby bell peppers. The mini bell peppers are very sweet, very easy to clean, and they add a lot of color. One small red bell pepper here, finely cut into slices, adds color, crunch, and flavor to your slaw. Feel free to add whatever vegetables you want, leaving or adding whatever your family likes. That's the beauty of this recipe. You can change it up. Back into the bowl. This is a one bowl, make ahead, easy, family night. I use a little cheat, shredded carrots from the grocery. Not a cheat, it's a help. But I'm still kind of picky. Pull off anything that's weird looking, discolored, not up to your standards. Nothing wrong with getting a little help, but not everything makes it through the machine the way you'd like it to be. Toss those into the bowl as well. Look how much color we already have. The more colors you have, the more vitamins and nutrients are in there. Eat a rainbow. We always include onions or scallions. This is the South, and I don't think we can actually cook without them. Must be a law. So onions go in, green scallions, those go in the garden. We will plant them and use them again. Pull off the hard, stringy, or yucky pieces. They'll either go in a stock or a soup. Clean up your scallions, chop them, and get those in the bowl. Chop them on an angle and be all fancy. Doesn't really matter, as long as they're in the bowl. Continue to add your vegetables into your one dish. This has become a one dish bowl. This is a crunchy mix. It's a salad topper. You find it in the produce department. It's full of lentils, azuki beans, all sorts of yummy, yummy things. It's great in a wrap, but I do wash them. They get washed and tossed on top. Has a lot of crunch and texture. Adds a lot of flavor too. Pea sprouts, azuki beans, lentils. Now the dressing. We are using 0 fat Greek yogurt as our base. You have 1 teaspoon of bagel seasoning. Yes, my camera angle was off. I am learning. This stuff goes on everything. Everything but the bagel, apparently, in my house. One tablespoon of sweet cooking rice wine, also found on the Asian aisle or in the Asian market. If you don't have it, you can substitute water. Try apple cider vinegar. That also works very, very well. That was a flavor we thought we would enjoy. This is keeping with the Asian theme. 5 spice powder is a mix of 5 different spices, 1/2 of a tablespoon. It's used often in Asian cooking. Less than 1/2 of a teaspoon of sesame oil. I use 1/4 of a teaspoon really. It adds a lot of richness and flavor. It gives a lot of aroma to the dish as well, but I did use a small amount. You're going to want to add salt, pepper, and sugar to your taste. The yogurt does have a bitterness and a tanginess that not everyone enjoys. Mix all of the dressing ingredients in a bowl. I recommend changing to a small spatula. Makes the mixing go a lot faster. Tiny spatulas are so cute. Give it a good mix. This is the point where you would stop, taste, add your salt, pepper, and sugar. Yes, it is the South. Yes, we use sugar in our coleslaw and dressings. It needs a little something to balance out the flavor. Now, how can you get these two mixed together without making a disaster in the kitchen? Put the dressing on top of your vegetable mix. Instead of worrying about tossing or stirring, find the lid to your bowl. It's the easiest way, I promise. Put the lid on the bowl and shake it to death. Give yourself a good little cardio right there. Little arms and leg workout. Dance around the kitchen. Burn off a few of those calories, and you are good to go. You have to get a little bit of the dressing off the top, but if we learned anything, it's not a big deal. It keeps it from going all over the cutting board and making a giant mess. You're going to have to put a lid on it anyway to put it in the refrigerator. And that's it. It was easy. I did choose to top this one with sesame seeds. We went with an entire Asian meal. We chose black and white tuxedo sesame seeds. My daughter decided those would be cool looking. They don't change the flavor at all. It's just a little bit of crunch. You can add whatever you want to it. We learned it's a good way to eat a lot of veggies. You can make ahead. But we would make some changes. Next time, change the yogurt up. Maybe try a different yogurt or a silken tofu. Not everyone in my family was so fond of the yogurt dressing. Thanks for watching. See you again.